just tell us, obviously, it's been a really competitive season so far in the Sun Belt. Another big one this weekend. Can you tell us just a little bit about South Alabama and what you guys have to prepare for?
Yeah, a lot of respect for that program. We've battled it out, over the years, as we all know, and we've dove in a little bit and looking at watching video and things of that nature, and we're continuing to do so. But man, it looks like they got another scrappy team that is going to be a handful to go down there to their place and try to win that series. But we look forward to that opportunity.
This league last year was a 4-bid league, right? And it feels like it's very much maybe even more competitive, just the way things have shaken out the first few weeks. Overall, what have you seen out of the conference and just how tough it's been each weekend?
Yeah, everything that we're looking at and seeing. Obviously, we've played 3 series in it, and none of those games have been easy by any means. But just looking, and knowing the other programs and what they're doing and so forth, and we know it's going to be a challenge. And there's a lot of really good programs out there. And every weekend you play, in league play, you better show up. And if you want to win, so it's great competition, but it sets you up well for the end if you can win a lot of games in that league.
Is Nolan Tucker getting any closer to the field?
Yeah, I think so. I think this past Tuesday he was available, but he told me yesterday was honestly the first day he felt like he could go up there. We did some live ABs yesterday, and it was the first day he felt like he could go up there and swing the bat without any feeling of concern or anything or any pain.
So I think he'll probably be available this weekend.
Oh yeah, he'll be on our roster. He'll be available for sure.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the process? We know you're going to be deep in terms of pitching, a whole lot of new arms, a lot of unknowns. It seems like you're still in the process of trying to find guys that can throw strikes consistently, have command, and you still don't want to use up your top arms on a weekday thing. It's tough to navigate.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the mystery right now. With it. I think if you asked all of our coaches, we, back after the fall, we felt very confident about the depth of this staff. And I'm not saying it's not there, but I don't think we've seen what we're capable of. I don't think we put it all together. And whether it's putting the right people out there at the right time or whatever it is, and working through a few injuries and stuff like that as well. But yeah, it's been disappointing to say the least for me, and I think I have the right to feel that way being the pitching coach and that voice with them, and the fact that I know they're a lot better than we showed in some areas, and we're looking forward to seeing some guys step up and say, hey, you can count on me in this role.
In the midweek games, do you hope to find maybe a long-term starter, a guy who can go a while, or do you kind of like having multiple arms throughout the game?
Well, you want to be built to where you have that fourth starter. I think your best staffs I've ever been associated with, you kind of had that. It's hard to find. It's hard to get. Just what you think you do. And I honestly thought we did get to it. And maybe he's there. And like I said, maybe that time's coming with it. But ideally, you would love to have a guy say, hey, your job is to go start on Tuesdays, just like Niko's job is to start on Friday and Billy's Saturday and so forth. And if you can attain that, if you can find that, that's pretty powerful.
Were you able to maybe look towards last season? Because last season, about halfway, it seemed like Cross was one of the few guys who could third strike consistently, and then about the halfway point, Armstead, Storm, and those other guys kind of emerge. Are you able to look back on that in any way?
Well, yeah, I think you're always evolving, for whatever reason it might be. And it seems like, especially with junior college transfers, new guys getting their first taste of this caliber, it takes a little time. Will Armstead last year, I thought that, he was a great example of that. And I'm hoping there's some others, that show that, because the stuff is there, the physical ability is there. We just got to make sure it translates over on the mound, mentally, and just kind of handling things and slowing the game down. And sometimes that's the hardest thing for them to figure out. Maybe the last thing to figure out sometimes.
Coach, coming off Tuesday night, can I talk about how you felt about what you got out of JB and then Landon coming off that injury?
Absolutely. I thought Tuesday night, honestly, I liked how it went, except one inning. And unfortunately, that one inning was what cost us, in my opinion. It wasn't a walk-off home run. Colby looked like $1 million, and the guy hit a pitch. It happens. But just, an uncompetitive inning to where we, I think, had maybe 4 freebies plus a couple of hits, and we bring in Chase Adams, and he about gets us out of it, but gives up a single, and the baseball guys are going to get you when you give up that many freebies and stuff, and that was the disappointing part to me, with that. But there were some positive moments as well. I thought Landon looked good. First time back, been dealing with an injury. He felt good, and that's all that matters. I thought JB bounced back really good. He had some great stuff that night and pounding the zone. I thought Colby looked outstanding. He was sharp as attack, and sometimes the ball doesn't go your way. So a lot of things to build from. Just very disappointed that a game that we had a chance to win, we didn't, because we failed to execute on that mound in one inning.
4-7 now away from this ballpark. I mean, what do you maybe think is the reason why this team is struggling outside of here, and how do you maybe solve that?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with experience and leadership. I think that's something, older teams that's been through it before and knows what it takes. They find ways to push through some of that adversity on the road. We haven't figured that out yet. And, and that's on our players. It's on us to keep reminding them and challenging them with it. But ultimately, it's up to this team to take ownership of that aspect of it and be good on the road. And we're going to have plenty of opportunities to figure that out starting tomorrow and into next weekend and stuff. So it's a learned thing. Every team has to learn how to do certain things, and I think that's something that we're seeing here, and lack of experience and lack of leadership in some of the areas with that. That's these boys. They need to take ownership of that. I know they will.
Any prognosis on Seth?
Still got that cast on. I think he's getting closer every day. The doctor felt very adamant in leaving it on for 4 weeks, so that was the Monday after Georgia Southern. Math, I think there's probably at least 2 more weeks of it on with Seth, and then kind of reevaluating then and seeing what that fracture looks like and that hand looks like, and hopefully it'll be good news.
Has Dalton surprised you at all, just the way how productive he's been? Obviously, you guys recruited him, so you knew he had the potential, but just the way it's kind of happened so quick.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I knew that was going to happen in the whole process. You can't ever say that. But we knew that his skill set was such that if he really bought into his identity of what we're seeing now, it could be pretty interesting and dynamic. So I'm not surprised, but I'd be lying to you if I said that, I thought he'd be doing exactly what he's doing. But he brings a lot of things to the table that you can't teach, and hand-eye coordination, speed, stuff like that. And now you start really gaining confidence, which I think we've seen Dalton do. And that confidence he's gaining is just making him even better. So it's been fun to watch.
And if you can kind of describe his game, you kind of just did a little bit, but obviously his speed, and I don't know how many infield singles he's been able to beat out, but just and what he does defensively, just kind of an old school way of playing,
It is. It's not the prettiest, it's not the most stylish, but it's just he competes in the box. He's bought into the concept of touching the baseball and moving it, and make them make a play. And because of his speed from the left side there, a routine ground ball to short speeds that shortstop up a little bit. They know, oh boy, I got to hurry up and get rid of it. Or a ground ball up the middle, the second baseman moves over. He knows he's going to have to speed it up. So that's an advantage there. His ability to, like I said, move the ball with 2 strikes is huge. That's a pest, and that really gets in the thorn of a pitcher or a pitching coach. And then you add the defense. I mean, he's making difficult plays look very routine and easy. And I don't know if a lot of folks understand that play he made the other evening, against Troy. It was very smooth, but that wasn't an easy play. And he did it with, as good as I've seen. So he brings a lot of dimensions to this team for sure.
You keep track of how many infield hits he actually has?
I don't, but I bet our SID Jack Duggan does. And but that's a great question. I mean, but it's a weapon. It's a weapon, and move the baseball, give it some direction, and good things can happen.
I wanted to ask you about Niko. When he first got here, He pitched in some big moments as a freshman. I think he pitched in a super regional. When did you start to see that he was a guy that could eventually be a Friday guy and had that mentality that you need on a Friday?
I think last year, first year, got his feet wet, was surrounded by some unbelievable pitchers, kind of got to see what it looks like and so forth. Last year, I thought he really came into his own, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, he had some moments down the stretch last year that, whether it was conference tournament or the regional or super regional, that really opened my eyes. And the one that really sticks out to me is Game 3 against Tennessee. Night game, big moment, national stage, and man, that dude, I'm sure he had some anxiety and he was had nerves, but he looked it right on and he went after him and attacked him. And I remember at that point, right then, I thought, all right, that dude's got a chance to be your Friday guy next year. And there was moments before that, but that was, to me, was the nail in the coffin. Like, this is going to be his opportunity.
In the past couple seasons, around this time of the seasons where your team started to hit that stride and start winning some games, how does that kind of happen this time around?
Well, I hope it happens. I mean, it's there's no magic formula for that, or it's not, it's no guarantee for that. I mean, every team's different, and every schedule's different, and stuff like that. So I hope we do. I hope we do hit that stride to where we're able to string some games together and so forth. It's not fair to me to go put a 15-game win streak on these guys. I mean, I just want to go play a great baseball game tomorrow night, and then you worry about the next one thereafter. So hopefully finding some rhythm, and I think some keys to that will be some guys, stepping up out of that bullpen, and and us continuing to do things well offensively, but some guys step up out of that pen and on the staff, and I think we'll have a chance to maybe put some together. So hopes anyway.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Well, Dalton, we were just asking Coach, maybe you know how many infield singles you have this year so far?
A lot. I would probably say 10 plus, if I had to guess. I don't really know for sure.
Is that just your speed? Obviously, is your strength. Is how you use that in the box. You're hitting the ball. Maybe you got a slow one. How much confidence do you have that you can beat that out?
Every baseball player has like strengths and weaknesses. There's balls that I can't get the ball in the air. Some of the bigger guys, they can get that ball out or over the outfielders' heads. So everybody's got to play to their strengths. I know anytime I get a high chopper in the infield, there's a chance that I can beat it out. So I just try to do as much as I can with what I've been given speed.
If you can kind of describe what this has been like for you so far, coming from Meridian, and obviously different level of baseball, but how much you've enjoyed it and how quickly you've kind of adapted to the game.
It's been great. Coming from Meridian, it's a lot different atmosphere. The crowd's not as involved as it is here. We got 5,000 supporters every game. And then just the brotherhood here. We're all so close-knit. It's a great atmosphere. The coaching staff's great. Players, we all want the best for each other. So it's been really nice.
And I know JUCO baseball in this state is really competitive. So you probably saw some really good arms. You saw some good competition. But how different has this level been so far?
This level is 10 times different. I mean, there's a lot of talented guys in JUCO, of course. That's why, there's a lot of schools that recruit out of JUCO, especially Mississippi JUCOs. But the main difference is the pitchability of the pitchers here. Everybody's taking, the talent that the JUCO guys have, but they've combined it with solid work ethic, good pitching staff, good mechanics, just the ability to throw 3 to 4 pitches at any given count, any given situation. So that's been the big difference.
Have you seen pitchers start to pitch you any differently? Have you noticed anything, or you pretty much get the same mix of stuff?
At the beginning of the year, it was a lot of fastballs. There's not a lot of stuff on me. It's changed maybe a little bit. It's more so later in the games. It just really depends on the situation. It's just like anybody else. Runners in scoring pitching position, you're probably going to get stuff that they'd rather you chase out of the zone. Some that you're going to put in play for weak contact early in the game. They're trying to get quick outs. The starter's trying to keep his pitch count down. So I feel like it's pretty similar to how everybody else gets pitched.
Oz was telling us that there's a chance Nolan Tucker's back in the lineup this weekend. Just if that's the case, what could he just bring to the team?
Nolan Tucker's a great player. I mean, this spring, he proved himself as one of our top hitters. That injury is really unfortunate. He's a great ball player. I don't think he showcased what he can be to this team while he's out there. He's trying to play through injury. So, I mean, if anything, I feel like that's a strength to him. He's a tough, hard-nosed baseball player. He can bring a lot to the table. Great hitter, great defender. Knows a lot about the game. He's very experienced, so he can bring a lot to the lineup.
You went to Meridian right out of high school.
Yes, sir.
But what drew you to that program and just the coaches over there?
It's funny. My travel ball coach actually played with the hitting recruiter over there and hitting coach. They played at Mississippi State together back in college. So I wasn't getting many looks. I was a real small guy, kind of like I am now. But he kind of talked to him. He was like, hey, you need to check this guy out, yada, yada, yada. And then it just ended up kind of happening. I didn't even know what Meridian was before I went on my visit there. But as soon as I got there, the coaching staff was great. I loved it. So.
I mean, when you were in high school, what offers were you getting? Was it mostly JUCO or
there was some Division I schools, but it was mostly for pitching, which was kind of funny looking back at it. But the main reason I went to Meridian is they were one of the only schools that were going to give me a chance to do both while I was there. So I really wanted that opportunity. I felt like I had more strengths or upside on the offensive side of things than pitching side, so it worked out well for me.
You guys are 4-7 away from home this season. Why do you think that is, and how do you kind of get better on some of these road games?
I don't know if it's anything different than being at home and the atmosphere. It's really easy to have high energy here with everybody behind you. On the road, we've kind of got to find a way to create our own energy. We come out sometimes and we just expect to win, I feel like sometimes. Especially those midweek games, we've got to come out with the same edge we have on the weekend series, because that 3-game series, you want to come out strong out of the jump because you got 2 more games you got to play against the same team. You want to get all the momentum in your favor. So I feel like we just got to come out with a little bit more energy from the jump and expect to win and go out there and perform like we should.
Niko, just tell us, I guess, now that we're, I don't know how many weeks into this, but how you feel now that you have several starts under your belt, how you feel like maybe you're getting better as a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that we're already halfway through the regular season. I mean, it's flown by. I was talking to Billy Oldham the other day. We were both saying that for being halfway in seasons, our body really feel good right now. Like, arm still feels fresh, which is always a positive. And being able to go out there on Friday nights is awesome. And feeling good when you're out on the mound is very important. But confidence is still growing outing to outing, and just keeping that confidence up and attacking hitters is really what I've been focusing on.
Coach Oz mentioned that he's kind of saw you as a Friday starter. He had you in mind, and that game against Tennessee, Super Regional, really kind of cemented that for him. If you take us back to that game and the moment, obviously it's a huge moment, and just kind of what you learned about yourself in that outing.
Yeah, learned that, no game's ever going to be too big for me. As long as I go out there and compete, there's really, I can do the best I can do, and that's gonna be it. But there's not gonna be a team that I'm gonna shy away from or back down from.
Niko, halfway through the season, is there a pitch through the process this year that's just kind of grown for you or developed a little more for you, one you kind of tended to go to? For me, lately it's maybe been a cutter.
Yeah, cutter's kind of taken a different shape a little, added some velo over the fall to it. So the last couple weeks it's been a really good pitch for me, and then consistency with my changeup, throwing it in the strikes has really been a positive thing.
Kind of is it to lefties or righters, does it matter to you?
Not really, no sir. It's kind of a neutral pitch that I like to use to both hitters.
Have you gotten a look at South Alabama yet, or kind of what the challenges there?
Yeah, I mean, we know they're a good team. I really haven't or dived into their scouting report much yet, but we know they're a good team, know that they always play really good against Southern Miss, so it's definitely going to be a challenge, and we look forward to it.
I don't know how much you guys pay attention to standings. We're still early into conference play, but it feels like this league is just as competitive, if not more competitive than last year. How do you guys feel about? You guys have seen a bunch of teams so far. How do you feel about how competitive this league actually is? How tough it's going to be to reach your goal of possibly winning the whole thing?
No, it's awesome. That's why they call it the Fun Belt, right? Any team can beat any other team on any night. So it's a lot of fun. We feel. I'm not really sure. I don't keep up with the standings much, but we feel good where we're at. Definitely looking to win the conference this year.
How do you feel like some players have kind of developed a leadership role into the bullpen and into the pitching staff?
Yeah, I think I know Matt Adams has been hurt this year, but he's done a great job just vocalizing, being a leader, and he's pretty much a coach down there. He's our bullpen coach, that's what we call him. But he's done a great job keeping the new guys ready and giving them like a level head coming into the games.